Live from the Triangle, this is WNCN News at 6.
When you die, that does not mean that you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live.
An entire state and sports nation grieving tonight. North Carolina's own Stuart Scott's battle with cancer is over. Good evening and thanks for watching WNCN News at 6. I'm Mike Gonzalez. We'll take a look at the broadcasting legend's life in just a moment. But first, some severe storms take aim at our state. Take a look at this photo behind me. This is damage from a round of thunderstorms that crossed through a little more than an hour ago. Chief Meteorologist Wes Hohenstein has been tracking those storms all afternoon. He starts us off with the very latest.
Hey, Mike, good evening to you and to you at home. We've enjoyed the spring temperatures, but not really the spring storms. The good news is the severe weather threat has now passed us, and we'll shut the radar off after tonight. But there are still some showers, mainly along the I-95 corridor. You start up in Roanoke Rapids, light rain, a little bit of a heavier downpour in parts of Nash County, Wilson County down through Wayne County and Sampson County. Light to moderate rain showers moving off to the east, and they'll be totally clear in the next few hours. And then not much else out there. A few showers and storms up in Virginia that should not bother us. So more or less the rain is ending or will end in the next couple of hours. So now we wait on the cold front and the temperature drop. Can't really see it out there right now. Still in the 70s along the coast. Our area is still in the 60s, but it's a totally different story when you walk out the door tomorrow morning. We have one front and kind of a secondary front that will move through, get rid of this warm, humid southerly flow we've had, and exchange it for some colder air. Again, you'll feel it tomorrow morning. So rain exiting, we drop down to about 60 at 8. 58 overnight as skies start to clear. The front comes through, and it'll be 41 when we head back to school. It's been a while. Don't forget to break for buses tomorrow morning. It'll feel like 37, so bundle up, and guess what? That is warm compared to where we're going later this week. I'll talk about the real cold blast in just a few minutes.
All right, Wes, thanks so much. And of course, you can follow any weather changes by downloading our news app. You can track current conditions, interactive radar, and forecasts as well. Just search WNCN on your Apple or your Android device. Our other big story tonight, former Tar Heel and ESPN personality Stuart Scott has died after a long battle with cancer. The 49-year-old went to high school in Winston-Salem and never really left his roots in our state. News of his passing has spread quickly. WNCN Shamira Ratliff is live in the studio tonight to show us how Scott's fight turned into an inspiration for many. Shamira?
Yeah, Mike, today I spoke with the CEO of the Jimmy V Foundation. It's a foundation for cancer research, an organization that Scott was very much involved in. He even won an award from them. Workers there tell me he was an amazing man whose spirit lifted them all.
We're very, very sad. We have lost a great man and a great friend. And in his name and honor, I know many, many of us will fight that much harder.
Stuart Scott, the popular, well-respected on-air personality who began his battle with appendix cancer in 2007, lost that battle Sunday morning. News of his death spread quickly.
It never feels like you're ready, and it always hurts.
Susan Braun is the CEO of the Jim Valvano Foundation. She has fond memories of working with the man who was involved with the organization for more than 20 years.
Stuart was the most extraordinary volunteer a person could ever ask to have. He did so much for the V Foundation. Anything we asked, he said yes.
Scott received the Jimmy V Perseverance Award at the 2014 ESPYs.
When I first heard that I was going to be honored with this reward, the very first thing that I did was I was speechless.
In his speech, he talked about how he wouldn't let the disease defeat him.
When you die, that does not mean that you lose to cancer. You beat cancer by how you live, why you live, and in the manner in which you live.
Workers with the foundation say they vow to keep the fight to end cancer going for Stuart and all those touched by the disease.
We still lose hundreds of thousands of people each year in this country alone to cancer. We will keep this fight up until we have put an end to cancer.
And that's the message Scott lived by until the end.
Live, fight like hell. And when you get too tired to fight, then lay down and rest and let somebody else fight for you.
Now, coming up tonight at 11, we'll hear from Stewart's childhood friends and other cancer survivors who knew him. Mike?
All right, Shamiro, thanks so much for that story. President Barack Obama, among the tens of thousands of people weighing in on the loss of the broadcaster, saying, "I will miss Stuart Scott. Over the years, he entertained us, and in the end, he inspired us with courage and love." UNC's basketball coach Roy Williams called Scott an inspiration. He said he was a pioneer in saying things that no one else would say. Williams went on to say, "To me personally, he was a friend. He was a guy that I idolized. Stuart Scott, he was a hero to me." And NBA star LeBron James posted this photo to Instagram saying, quote, "Thank you so much for being you and giving us inner city kids someone we could relate to that wasn't a player but was close enough to them." Scott was just 49 years old. Other news tonight, 2 West Virginia police officers shot by murder suspects with ties to our state are out of the hospital tonight. Lewisburg, Virginia police chief says the officers were released. They are doing well tonight. They will have a psychological evaluation and could return to duty in about a week. Those officers were shot after pulling over an SUV driven by Eric Campbell. Police say his father, 54-year-old Edward Campbell, pulled up and opened fire. Campbell and his son, who are from Texas, are accused of killing a Granville County couple, Jerome and Dora Faulkner, and setting their home on fire before driving to West Virginia. A sad but stirring display in New York City today as fellow NYPD officers said farewell to a friend. Detective Wenjian Liu, honored by many from cities large and small around the world. As Brian Moore reports, while they weren't related, many consider him part of their family.
On the streets of New York, thousands of police officers paid tribute to a fallen brother. NYPD Detective Wenjian Liu gunned down in a December 20th ambush attack along with fellow detective Rafael Ramos. This ocean of blue uniforms was a show of solidarity representing departments from coast to coast and a sign of solidarity for Liu's grieving family. His young widow says he only wanted to serve his community.
Wenjian is my hero. We can always count on him.
His father's grief needed no translation. Liu and his partner were eulogized by New York Mayor Bill de Blasio.
We lost in Detective Liu and we lost in Detective Ramos, the very best of us, everything that we as New Yorkers aspire to be.
Some officers turned their backs as the mayor spoke, believing he's been too supportive of anti-police protesters. But for the most part, this dreary day was about a community supporting officers.
Yeah, I can't say no to that. Thank you.
And officers supporting each other.
It could happen to any one of us. So that's what brings us together.
A fallen officer being mourned by 2 families. FBI Director James Comey says Liu's fellow officers have an obligation to make something good come of this tragedy, so evil is not allowed to win the day. Brian Moore, NBC News, Washington.
Brian, thank you for that report. The FBI director also pointed out that 115 police officers were killed in the line of duty last year. That's a dramatic increase over 2013 when that number hit a 60-year low. Here in our area, there was a show of support for police officers in Wake Forest. Take a look.
Thank you so much.
The Wake Forest Town Hall filled with food and people on Saturday night, all with a simple message of thank you. The organizer of the event says he wanted to give the police some positive attention.
And after the recent Durham shootings, the NYPD assassinations, it gave me the idea, somebody needs to support the cops. Come up here and shake someone's hand. Let them know they're not alone. Let them know that there are people in the community that actually want to be there to support them and help them.
A similar event was also held in Franklin County yesterday morning. More than 100 people attended that one. President Barack Obama and his family back in Washington, D.C. after a 2-week vacation. The family, they bundled up in coats and boots and arrived at Andrews Air Force Base this morning after enjoying those warmer temperatures in Hawaii. The president will get back to work on Tuesday. He will meet with Mexico's president. President Obama also has plans to travel this week. He'll stop in Michigan, Arizona, as well as Tennessee. And lawmakers are preparing for a big week when they return to Washington, D.C. Here's a live look at the U.S. Capitol building. Members of the Senate and Congress will convene on Tuesday after an end-of-the-year recess. But some won't be back this year after losing the November elections. One such lawmaker is Senator Kay Hagan from North Carolina. Senator-elect Tom Tillis beat her out this past November in the most expensive Senate race in the country and ever in the state of North Carolina. Well, Tillis's big day is Tuesday. That's when he'll take the oath of office. For he and incumbent Senator Richard Burr, they each face their own storylines as work begins on Capitol Hill. For Tillis, analysts want to see how he aligns himself with Republican leadership. For Burr, they wonder how he will do as chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee, especially considering he is up for re-election next year. And of course, the big question, the impact we will see back here in North Carolina.
If we just look at the entire congressional delegation, we have a heavy majority of Republicans, which always matters in terms of what states get back from the federal government. So we will, I think, see some additional influence of North Carolina.
And WNCN's political reporter Bo Minnick is on his way to Washington, D.C. as we speak, beginning tonight at 11.